Eleanor Roosevelt once said, great minds discuss great ideas, average minds discuss events, and small minds discuss people. Well, today, ladies and gentlemen, we are in the presence of some very great minds who are here today to discuss some great ideas. Before we begin, I would like to welcome our very own principal of John Loomis College, Dr. Sister Mary Louisa, the collaborators and representatives of the Ministry of Tourism, Government of India, Bangalore office, the esteemed delegates from South Villa Institute of Tourism who have joined us all the way from the Philippines, our tourism HOD, Dr. Angela Thomas, and our tourism professor, Mr. Prakasha N., Sister Nalini Cruz, Sister Sajita, Dr. Carol Stanley, our IQA's coordinator, all our respected sisters of Jyotirnimas community, faculty members that have joined us from various departments, our non-teaching and support staff, Mr. Praveen, Mr. Basil, Mr. Richard, and Mr. Khalil, our technical support guidance team, participants from various countries across the globe, and my dear peers. Welcome to the International Virtual Panel Meet as we come together to commemorate World Tourism Day 2024. My name is Jane Matthew, and I will be your host for today. World Tourism Day 2024, celebrated on September 27, has a special theme this year of tourism and peace. The theme highlights the role of tourism as a driver of global peace, promoting cultural understanding and international cooperation. We celebrate it to show how tourism fosters connections between people from different cultures, economic backgrounds, and nations. Our discussion today will focus on how tourism can be leveraged to build peaceful societies and drive sustainable development. I will now hand over to Dr. Rani Anthony Nart to introduce our panelists.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Tourism is the ultimate passport to peace, connecting people across the culture, breaking down barriers, and fostering mutual respect. Good afternoon to one and all present here, our esteemed panelists, guests, faculties, and my dear students. I'm Dr. Rani Anthony Raj, Associate Professor from Southville International Schools and Colleges, Philippines. It's my great pleasure to welcome you all for today's live session in celebration of International Tourism Day under the theme Diplomacy Beyond Borders, Promoting Peace Through People to People Tourism Initiatives. As we come together on this significant occasion, we are reminded of the powerful role that tourism plays in connecting people, culture, and economics worldwide. This day is a tribute to the global tourism industry and the countless ways it contributes to economic growth, culture, and understanding, and the enrichment of communities around the world. Today, we explore how people to people exchanges fosters diplomacy at a grassroots level, breaking down barriers and building bridges between nations. Tourism is more than just a travel. It's about connections, learning from one another, and building bridges across different cultures, traditions, and geographics. This year, we are especially proud to highlight the international collaboration between Jyotirnimas College, Bangalore, India, and Southville International Schools and Colleges, Philippines. Together, these institutions are shaping the future of tourism through education, research, and meaningful exchange. Southville International Schools and Colleges is highly esteemed educational institution in the Philippines, offering programs from preschool to college with a strong focus on international education and global competitiveness. Jyotirniwas College is indeed one of the famous and reputed college in Bangalore, known for its commitment in excellence in women's education. It has been recognized as a College of Excellence by the UGC. Today's event is particularly special as it marks a collaboration that bridges two institutions from two vibrant countries, Jyotirniwas College, Bangalore, India, and Southwell International Schools and Colleges, Philippines. Through this collaboration, we are not only fostering academic exchange but also enhancing global understanding in the field of tourism. I am deeply honored to introduce and acknowledge our distinguished panelists who bring with them the wealth of knowledge and experience from various sectors of tourism industry. We are thrilled to have a distinguished panel of experts with us today. And it's my pleasure to introduce our esteemed panelists from Philippines. We have Dr. Donaldo Roli and Dr. Rene. And from Bangalore, India, we have Dr. Sister Mary Luisa, Principal Jyotinivas College. Dr. Dilip MR, Director of KITTS, Trivandrum, and Dr. Madhuri Savan, Director of Tourism Studies, Aurangabad. Welcome you all for this live session. Now, I would like to introduce our panelist from Philippines, Dr. Donaldo Roli. We call him as Dr. RD. Dr. RD is an accomplished educator and academic leader with over 2 decades of experience in fostering academic excellence over multiple institutions. He has a deep passion for integrating innovative technologies such as artificial intelligence in education and has played a vital role in development of AI capabilities for educators. Dr. RD has completed Doctor of Philosophy in Management from Lyceum University of Philippines, Master in Education with Major of Educational Management, Diploma in Science, completed a program offered by Harvard Graduate School of Education on Screen Time Survey and Digital Literacy. Dr. RD was a Dean of Hospitality and Tourism, South Manifest College from 2019 to 22. Dr. RD is the Director of Learning and Development and Academic Director of Southville Global Education Network and SISC Dean of Graduate School. Most recently, invited as a technical speaker in the 78th National Convention of Philippines Institute of Certified Public Accountant on topic Generative and Creative AI, Impact on Accountancy Education. Dr. RD was also invited as resource speaker on AI challenges and solutions in accountancy profession during the 41st Association of Certified Public Accountants in Philippines. Dr. RD is currently building up our AI capability and agility of teachers across 8 schools of Southville Global Education Network through AI roadmap highlighted by certification and training. His vast expertise in hospitality, tourism, and education management makes him a perfect fit for today's session. On behalf of SISC and Jyotinivas College, I welcome you, Sir Dr. RD.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rani, for that humble introduction.
Yeah,
Is
thank you,
my
sir.
audio clear?
Yeah.
Yes, all right. So thank you very much for this opportunity. It's timely and relevant that we share our expertise to all our students and to all our academicians because tourism now is evolving from what Dr. Rani mentioned into just travel, recreation, or having an intimate relationship with nature or heritage sites into something that is very meaningful and that is to foster connections and building relationships. And with the World Tourism theme this year, that's for diplomacy and peace, I think every one of us, whether we are coming from different parts of the globe, it is imperative for all of us to be able to support tourism initiatives that would build relationships among our global friends and also to build peace and foster connections and build relationships. So that's from interaction with nature. Now we are forging relationships with people, and that's the role of tourism. And is now a whole lot difference compared to what tourism and travel has been in the past, and it's now into creating diplomacy and peace. And as a former dean of tourism, I have seen a bunch of uh, travelers and even students who are into um, exploring the wide range of experience in terms of tourism and travel. And I myself traveled in Europe and in the US years back, and we saw the need to really forge diplomacy and to really build relationships and to create more a better and a peaceful world for all of us. So it's a transformative way of emphasizing personal connections and developing personal and cultural exchanges between travelers, between tourists, and of course local communities. So these are the people to people tourism initiatives. They enhance our journey as a traveler, but also apart from enhancing our and giving us an enjoyable travel, it also supports local communities and preserve cultural heritage. So what makes nowadays traveling more meaningful? I think that is really when we forge connections and when we build relationships. So, most recent data tells us that just in the US, they allot around $42.48 trillion for people to people partnership for peace fund, and this is solely for Israel-Palestinian partnerships, and that would build. It has a proven track record of solving common economic and social development challenges. So just imagine this big amount of resource or money that they provide to support partnerships for peace and for diplomacy. So I think countries would have to allot resources or budget for them to be able to support the goal of tourism now, which is for peace and diplomacy. And there are common forms of people-to-people initiatives. We have cultural exchanges, educational programs. There are opportunities for volunteer work and service projects in local communities between travelers, for tourists, and professional and business networks also. That's one way of forging connections and building relationships, and of course, peace building initiatives. So these are examples of people to people initiatives. For tourism, we would like to promote peace and diplomacy around the globe, around the world. And we have examples like homestay programs for students. I'm sure some of our students have already uh, tried to travel in other countries. And in your experience, you lived with foster families in either rural areas or even in suburban areas to foster mutual understanding, to discover their and experience their traditions, their culture, and to eat with them. Like the one in the picture here, this traveler is trying out our famous balut in the Philippines. So that's an exotic food stuff in the Philippines. It's like an unhatched egg that you can experience here in the Philippines. And um, this one is in our northernmost part of the Philippines. This is a traveler living in Batanes Island, and this is experiencing, or this traveler is experiencing the life in the local rural areas in Batanes. And also, we have here an example of traveler or a tourist that experiences life with the Japanese local communities. So homestay programs for students, these are uh, great examples of people-to-people tourism initiatives promoting peace. So you have you we engage conversations as a traveler. You can engage conversations with local communities, sharing their daily lives, enjoy the food, the local delicacies, and also um, and in the end, ultimately, you foster mutual understanding. And when you return to your country of origin, you bring along with you a wealth of experience in terms of the culture, the traditions, and the delicacies, and of course the life in the local communities that you can share with your friends back home. So that's an example of a people-to-people tourism initiative. Next is volunteerism or volunteer work. So this is um, this example here in the picture. This is volunteer work in Nepal. So years back, Nepal experienced this powerful earthquake, and the tourists around the globe volunteered to rebuild their communities. So you have a picture here, a photo of how travelers all around the world they help rebuild the communities in the earthquake-struck Nepal, and also they volunteer not only for labor, not only for building relationships, but also um, the psychological part. They listen to the stories of um, the local communities when they experience the natural disaster. So showing
Sir, sir,
solidarity.
Sir Adi,
Yes.
excuse me, sorry to disturb you. It's in the first slide itself. It is slide is not moving to the next one.
Oh, okay. So is it moving now?
No, it's in the first one.
Oh, okay. On my screen, it's actually moving.
Uh, I think,
Yeah.
hope everybody, I think Dr. Anila also has messaged me. It's in the first slide. I think everyone, I think it has stopped sharing right now.
All right. I'll try to. Or I have shared the presentation to our technical team. So perhaps the
Uh,
tech can be the
yes,
one
sir.
to share.
I'll speak to, I think, Dr. Anila ma'am about this, whether they can share it from their end. I'll just check with her.
All right.
Dr. Anila ma'am, are you there?
Oh.
Yes, yes, tell me.
Uh, Ma'am, I think sir
Hello?
is not able to share the screen. The slides are not moving forward. If
Hello,
you
hello,
have,
ma'am.
yeah,
You're able to hear me?
yes, ma'am, I'm able to hear you. Yes,
All right. Is my screen now visible to everyone?
yes, sir. It's visible.
Okay. So I'll click this slideshow.
Yeah,
Okay.
Okay. Are you seeing the
yes,
screen with?
cultural exchange programs for young professionals. Yes,
Yes. Yes. All
yes,
right.
sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So we can proceed now to that part.
Yes, sir.
Cultural exchange programs for young professionals. And an example of this initiative or program is the UNESCO World Heritage Youth Fora. So you have some examples here. So they visit UNESCO World Heritage or cultural areas with historical significance, and they work on projects. So you can, our students also can participate on this one. They their main goal is to preserve cultural diversity, and in these exchanges, they actually um, provide conversations and diplomacy. So as young leaders, they forge lasting relationships and understand the importance of preserving global heritage. So this is an example for the sake of peace. So I'm moving now. So is my screen now with the quote from Colin Powell?
Yes, yes, sir.
All right. So we have practiced diplomacy since the very beginning of the nation. Sometimes it has not worked, and we've had to go to war. I always believe that we should try to find peace and reconciliation before conflict. That has been the approach I've taken. So I think the goal of tourism, world tourism now, is really to find peace and reconciliation before conflict would take place. So another example of people-to-people tourism initiatives or programs, you have the Doctors Without Borders. So it's on the aspect of medical tourism and health diplomacy. So you can support this. This is an example of uh, an initiative allowing medical professionals from different countries to offer help and their services to conflict zones. So, for example, in areas in the Philippines before, in the southern part, so we had um, doctors from other countries supporting the war-torn city in the southern part of the Philippines. So they also go to regions affected by crisis and even also regions affected by natural disasters. So this direct interaction between foreign doctors or health professionals and the local communities, they build trust and understanding, and they transcend the politics into something that is really helpful and supportive of the needs of these conflict zones or war-torn areas. And it becomes an example of how tourism can promote peace and heal divisions. Okay, another one is CBT, or we call it a community-based tourism in conflict-affected areas. So you have a local, you have a community that you would like to support. Then it brings about ownership, management, and control. And this example here is um, community-based tourism in Rwanda. Okay, we know that Rwanda is a place where um, refugees and there's conflict, and there's also we have survivors of the 1994 genocide. So tourists who went to Rwanda, they did not only uh, enjoy the place, but also they listen to the stories of the Rwandan people, but while witnessing their resilience and efforts to rebuild their country. So this kind of an interaction with the Rwandans developed and promoted global empathy, and it reminded us that peace building is really important. So you have the CBT in the Philippines. We have some examples here, like the culinary workshop. So this program is related to this community-based tourism culinary workshop. They related it to the local cuisine exhibition or local dish exhibition in this part of the Philippines. There's also a CBT that involves Indonesia and the Philippines. So we call it the Emotive Exchange. It's a community-based tourism in the Philippines where young people, they were supported in terms of possible local jobs that they can work, and they can uh, so that they can provide um, food, they can provide also the needs of their families. So that's an example here in the Philippines, and also the one in Indonesia. All right. Okay, and then so what else is in store for P2P or people to people tourism initiatives, while you enjoy your favorite destinations, in the future, we are expecting around 60% of women and 40% of men are going to travel soon. So this data would support how or what kind of people to people tourism initiatives can be developed, can be forged in the future. And our world is waiting for us to be part of peace building and to support diplomacy among nations. You know, there's disparity in terms of the economy, in terms of languages and cultures. We have varied ways of doing things, but I think it's tourism that would gel together, that would solidify our ultimate goal of equitability, peace, and diplomacy around the world. So these are examples of communities who need us to make a difference and um, to provide a better community and a peaceful community for all. So peace cannot be kept by force. It can only be achieved by understanding. So let's all explore and be part of tourism for peace and diplomacy in your own little ways. So when you travel in the future, so be part and connect with the local community while you're enjoying nature, while you're enjoying heritage sites. We can always become vehicles of peace and diplomacy. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Back to you, Dr. Rani.
Yeah, thank you, sir. I think, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
I think anybody has any questions, or can we have a question and answer session in the last? Would you like to pose any
Yes,
questions?
I think we can have the Q&A, question and answer, after all the
Okay,
panel speakers.
sure.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I'll Dr. Adi, on behalf of everyone present, I would like to extend a sincere gratitude to you for delivering such an insight and thought provoking session on the theme Diplomacy Beyond Borders, Promoting Peace Through People to People Tourism Initiatives. Your exploration of how tourism can be a powerful tool for diplomacy and peace has left a lasting impact, encouraging us to reflect on the importance of fostering connections that transcend borders. Your presentation was not only enlightening but also a timely reminder of the role we all play in promoting peace through cultural understanding and people to people exchange. Thank you once again for sharing your valuable knowledge and for contributing to the success of this today's event. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Now, I would like to introduce Dr. Rene. Uh, Dr. Rene is an esteemed leader in the field of education, socio-political science, tourism, and hospitality management. He currently serves as an international linkage director and chairman of the College of Tourism at Southwell International Schools and Colleges, where his leadership continues to inspire both students and faculty. With 34 years of academic experience, Dr. Rene holds a Bachelor of Arts in Political Science and Bachelor of Science in Tourism from Central Philippines University. He earned his Master's in International Hospitality Management and a Doctor of Philosophy in Management from Lyceum of Philippines. Dr. Rene's professional journey spans internationally with significant experience in Hong Kong, China, Thailand, Qatar, South Korea, and other countries. He has served in various leadership roles, including as a chairperson of National Board of Advisors for the Junior Tourism and Hospitality Management Association of Philippines and a committee chair for instructions and program. Dr. Rene is a wealth of knowledge, and his experience in the field of tourism and management, his innovative work and deep insight have made a significant impact in SISC. And today we are fortunate to have him as an expertise with us. Welcome you, sir, Dr. Rene.
Yeah. Hey, good afternoon. Could you hear me now?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Okay, so hi. So good afternoon. If make sure that my audio is clear. So thumbs up, everyone. Thank you so much,
Yes.
Dr. Rani. So thank you very much, Dr. Rani Anthony Raj. What a generous introduction, and I need to maintain that momentum. I hope that our audience, both from the Philippines and in India, will lend me at least about 600 seconds, or should I say 900 seconds of their time. By the way, it's past 5:30 noon here in the Philippines, and in Manila, the sun in India is just about to set in a few hours, right? Okay, so this is one fact that we need to learn when we travel and understand the world, the time zones, and the time differences. By the way, do you see my presentation on screen?
Yes, sir, it's
Thank
visible.
you. Okay.
Yes.
So allow me to say it's more fun in the Philippines, but it's more fun to be with you all. Yes, the current brand tagline, the Philippine tourism is love the Philippines. But don't you know that in 2002, your government in India launched this stylized tagline? And you know that, right, students? Your tagline in India is incredible India. Now you know, in case you forgot. But before I proceed, thank you very much, Dr. RD, for that warm introduction of the topic. That's right, diplomacy beyond borders. And I would like to acknowledge likewise the Ministry of Tourism of India for being one of with us as we celebrate the World Tourism Day. So if I would give a quiz today, the World Tourism Day actually is tomorrow, World Tourism Day, September 27. But we enjoy in advance the celebration, and my heart today is very full to the brim because of our school, Southville International School and Colleges, is having this initial collaboration with Dotenivas College Autonomous. And of course, thank you very much to Dr. Anila Thomas, along with the other school officials, for making this happen. I know that the world knows Jotinivas is a highly reputable institution of learning and is committed to excellence in women's education. That's right. Agree. Correct. So I would say, if I would say mabuhay, which is welcome in the Philippines, correct me if I'm wrong, Dr. Rennie, namaste. Yes, I bow for your generosity. Am I right? So I'm learning.
Yes, yes,
Thank you.
exactly.
Perfect, perfect. Okay. So I know this is going to be a hybrid presentation. There are students or guests watching on the other side of the world in a different venue, probably, but let us greet each other. Happy World Tourism Day. Again, happy World Tourism Day, dear brothers and sisters who are present today. Again, it is with joy to share my thoughts on the topic diplomacy beyond borders, as explained by Dr. RD in the introductory part. Thank you for sharing your wisdom likewise as we promote peace through people to people tourism initiatives. Well, the World Tourism Day theme actually is tourism and peace. We're able to dissect how would we be able to deliver this to our audience this afternoon. Well, so I have a presentation slide. So this would gonna guide us. So of course you can ask questions later on or during the forum as we will yield the floor to interested parties. So if I may begin, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed colleagues and dear students from the Philippines, good afternoon once again. The topic resonates global challenges today, diplomacy beyond borders, promoting peace through people to people tourism initiatives. Well, true enough, at a time when borders can easily divide, it is but crucial that we seek to build bridges, right? That's what Dr. Donato mentioned. Bridges of understanding, cooperation, and peace. In the age of globalization, these bridges are not just metaphors, but real, created by our people to people initiatives, which connect us as citizens of the world. Now, my undergraduate program has to do with Bachelor of Arts in Political Science. I wanted to become a lawyer. I wanted to be in the government service. I wanted to become a political scientist. I wanted likewise to become an ambassador. The same thing probably with the other audience on the other side of, of the globe. I love to see people, talking about peace, order, diplomacy. And it has been strengthened when I joined Southville International School in colleges. By the time Dr. Donato and I were on the same college or high school, his office was able to send me to various places as far as Qatar, Beijing twice, to join the United Nations Model Assembly. And with that, what's it all about? I thought before diplomacy has to do always with the government officials, with the government officers who would always on our side to negotiate. But then again, it has already, broken the stereotypes. So when we talk about diplomacy, well, we're making bridges for understanding based in collaboration to that effect. So it's not normally diplomacy that has to do with an officer talking, but this time I love when it says through people tourism initiatives. Let me proceed with my second slide. Okay, so I'm not sure if it's moving. Let me see. Oh, there. I guess it's about to move. The internet probably is a little bit of a challenge. But looking at my slide, let's check what it says. When we talk about people to people initiatives to resonate, what Dr. Ardi said. I hope you enjoy the videos flash on screen. I really have prepared this presentation to augment the interest of our listeners. So what's all about P2P? It's an effort aimed at fostering direct connections. Right now, we're having direct connections with India, with your students, with the officers, and hopefully with the Ministry of Tourism of India. We're trying to foster understanding. Look at these videos. They're trying to dance, try to imply what a specific culture do they have. In the Philippines, we don't have it probably, but then again, as we try to bring this closer to each and every one of us, so definitely we'll be enjoying this. People to people initiatives would have to do with collaboration between individuals or groups. To emphasize, right now, Jotinivas and Southville, this is the very, very first internationalization partnership that we are doing. And we're very happy to share the platform with you. Now, these people to people initiatives often emphasize building relationships across cultural, national, and regional lines to promote mutual understanding, peace, and cooperation. How I wish I could see all of you here in the Philippines, as we believe that time would come is our turn to visit India. The second slide has to do with the common forms of people-to-people initiatives, as also elaborated by Dr. RD. Well, the videos are very vibrant, they're very crisp, okay? And these videos would tell us about what to expect when we have cultural exchanges from people from different backgrounds to experience others' culture, such as student exchange programs, language immersion, and cultural festivals. And to open the floor for everybody, how we would love to see all of you here in the Philippines, love to see you all here in Southville. We can come up with a program wherein you would visit us and you will welcome our students there. It's not all about diplomatic relations. Maybe it's more on the grassroots level, as emphasized. Grassroots, which means from the very basic, from the foundation, let the people do the action. Who knows, we may have cultural exchanges in terms of language immersion. I'm trying to study, your language, Sanskrit in general. Like I'm trying hard saying namaste But then more than that, I would like to know more what's beyond. The festivals, your cultural festivals, the Festival of Lights also in India. We would love that. By the way, Dr. Rani, the rest of the team, we also have Indian students here in the Philippines, especially in the College of Tourism. I would like to mention also that our two graduates last year are now in the US working, and they are our products. And we are proud to say that. Okay. The third slide would tell us about what are the other common forms of people to people initiative. Here we go. The slide tells us about educational programs. And these are initiatives that would bring students like you, teachers like me, like us, adults or professionals together to share knowledge, skills, and perspective through joint projects, workshops, or study tours. Now, today, this is a realization of a people to people initiative we're doing this is what we call a series of webinars. You don't see me there physically, but I know you're on the other side of the world. We are together. So time would come that Renee, you will meet me there, or Dr. Thomas would go to Southville in the Philippines, wherein we could have this exchange, you know, of perspectives. You will teach me, I will teach you, and from there, peace, prosperity, and progress would emerge, right? So this is a very good program. Let's not wait for the government to have more of, you have to go there, you have to go to do that. Let's begin with the grassroots. I guess I have few more slides. The next slide would tell us another example of people to people. Dr. Ardi mentioned about volunteerism in service projects. In Southville, we have this what we call International Baccalaureate program, and our students would visit different countries. I remember the IB program even went to Vietnam. Actually, my team for the college will be going to Daegu, South Korea next year, January. But we were not able to visit Cambodia and Vietnam last summer because of some conflicts in terms of course, climate change, etc. But moving on, I guess I still have about 5 more minutes. The volunteerism project. This is a very good one, an inter-community project crossing borders, where participants collaborate on social, environmental cleanup for that matter, humanitarian efforts to improve quality of life in host communities. Homestays, we could have that. We would love to welcome, all of you. You welcome us as well. Just like the gentlemen and ladies, you also have your dream places where to visit. For me, I would love also to visit India. I wanted to know in the fusion of religion, right? And of course, just to share with you, I want also to visit Mongolia. I wanted to find out how many more really, if there are really more horses than people in Mongolia. On that light note, yes, volunteerism and service projects are crucial to people initiatives, and let's begin that in tourism. Another slide would tell us about um this sorry, it skips so fast. Let's have the professional and business networks. In the introduction, I was introduced with variety of organizations. I believe that our students also could have some professional organizations across to share the best practices, exchange ideas, and promote innovation. Sometimes the other schools in the Philippines would welcome me as an advisor for their research paper because they have believed that, Renee, you have this wealth of ideas, you could help them, so on and so forth. And that would be a good network for all of us. Who knows, Dr. Raj would be the advisor of my tourism students. I could be an advisor of your students there in India, in Jotinivas, and so on. Or maybe we could open a professional organization and then we could, blend, we could gel out, and we could, be together. Now, towards the end of my presentation, one last rather, the common form is peace building initiatives. Yes, programs designed to bring people together to resolve conflicts. You know what? On my experience in the United Nations, I was able to bring about less than 100 students to China twice for the Model United Nations Assembly, and even as in an Arab country, we're able to have that. Later on during the forum, I would like to ask if you were able also to join such organization in your school. And to slowly close the talk today, These initiatives are often supported by governments, and I'm happy that the Ministry of Tourism of India is here, and our government, the Department of Tourism in the Philippines, definitely would love to welcome this. Actually, Southville is welcoming also people, delegates coming and enrollees from Mongolia, Taiwan, Thailand, India, of course, China, Korea, and of course, a lot more. Even Africa, we have a variety of students, multiracial school, to that matter. So the initiatives are often either by governments or international bodies, and the goal is to increase diplomatic and social friendship or cohesion through direct human interaction. Other than that, closer to this, the diplomacy beyond borders as we promote peace through tourism initiatives, we are here trying to bring culture in one, trying to understand one over the others, and that is what is to promote that we, students, travelers, professionals, when we interact with the world, we have to bring peace, love, understanding across. The last few slides would tell us that through tourism, individuals from different backgrounds, like in India and the rest of those who are listening today, will learn about one another, work together in common goals, and form connections that go beyond the language and nationality. These personal relationships help create a more peaceful world by reducing cultural misunderstandings and encouraging cooperation. It's really very heartwarming to see people working together, whether through staying with local families. I love that. Volunteering in the community. I love, I'm also an advocate of ecotourism. Whenever I go to the beach, I really volunteer to do the coastal cleanup as well. I love cleaning the beaches or learning about local traditions. Maybe some of you could tell me then in the future how to dance an Indian dance. By the way, I'm also a dancer. Okay, on that note. So maybe this is the conclusion in a capsule to summarize my talk today. The idea highlights how ordinary people, through travel and meaningful interactions, can contribute to promoting peace and friendship around the world. So, with this, thank you so much. If you have questions, we'll entertain them later. And I guess I was able to meet my about 900 seconds. And thank you very much for listening. And back to you, Dr. Rennie.
Yeah, thank you, Sir Rene.
Yes.
The diplomacy is most effective when it begins with people, and tourism offers the opportunity to engage, learn, and grow together beyond the borders. Thank you very much, Dr. Rene. Your deep expertise and passion for tourism as a tool for building cross cultural understanding and peaceful relationship between nations resonated with all of us. We appreciate the time and the effort you dedicated to make this session a success, and your words have inspired us to continue promoting peace through people to people initiatives in tourism. Once again, thank you for your impactful contribution. Thank you so much, Dr. Rene and Dr. RD.
Thank you very much, Dr. Rana. I hope our guests today or students
Yeah,
were
I
able
think,
to imbibe. Yeah.
yeah. Dr. Anila ma'am, I can
Dr.
hand over the
Rani.
session to you.
Thank you, Dr. Rani. We now have Dr. Madhuri Sawant. Ma'am is the Director of Tourism Administration at Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University, India, and editor of the Euro-Asia Tourism Study Journal. As the first woman in Maharashtra to earn a PhD in tourism, she has over 36 publications focusing on marketing, CSR, and heritage tourism. Dr. Sawant frequently speaks at international conferences, guides global doctoral research, and has designed numerous tourism and hospitality courses. It's a privilege to have you with us today.
Good afternoon to one and all, my fellow panelists, Dr. Rani Raj, Dr. Anila Thomas. Thank you so much for having me here. We are full class listening to all the presenters, and I'm so happy to be one of the, members of celebrating the World Tourism Day, especially with the such a reputed college that is Jyoti Nivas College in Bangalore. So I would like to wish each and everyone over here a very, very happy World Tourism Day. And of course, the theme of today, it is like a very important one, which we are talking since a very, very long time. Moreover, research is done on these apps aspects, but I think the full-fledged theme on tourism and peace is a very important aspect right now today in 2024, as it will create a lot of research areas, lot of aspects, lots of activities which can be done by the students and all the tourism stakeholders. I would like to share my screen. As only 10 minutes are given, I will just wind up my presentation in another 10 minutes. Just a minute, please. Dr. Rani, are you able to see my presentation?
Yes, yes, ma'am. It is visible.
Okay, the first slide, the second slide, I just want to confirm. You can see this? Second
Yeah.
slide?
No, it's still in the first.
Okay.
Yeah, second. Yeah, it's moving. Fine.
Okay, fine. So yeah, today's topic, first of all, I was very glad to hear Professor Rene, and he has given a lot of inputs. Beautifully, he has explained the attributes of people to people and how peace, especially related to the tourism educators or the students part, right? My presentation as a panelist would be rather a critical one, and just to focus on how things can be improved. Okay, as the topic is promoting peace tourism through people to people initiatives, I would be asking some important questions, like 4 to 5 questions, in which there is a zest of understanding it and what can be done about it. Now, when we are talking about peace tourism, we really need to know who are the people in promoting peace through tourism, right? Dr. Rene has mentioned more about the students part, but yes, about the stakeholders, the travel agents, tour operators, airlines, hospitality industry, the locals, the people, the students, we as the researchers, right? So who would be more effective? That is very important. I think each and every part will be effective, but it is very important for us to now understand what kind of attributes all these stakeholders will be having with them to promote peace tourism in future. Okay, like Dr. Rene said, students, of course, students are a very, very important part. The voluntary part was absolutely brilliant, like moving the students from one place to, definitely it will cause peace. But here we have to think about the important tourism landscape, especially when we are dealing with the tangible and intangible products. So my first question would be this. I think in the panel discussion later on, we can discuss about it. Now, when I'm telling about people and the local people, we have been doing work where, prioritizing the needs of the local communities was very, very important. Now, again, my question is, does tourism, which is served as a very huge and important industry, ultimately augment the local income? Now, I have done my 3 research projects since 2011, that is impact assessment of rural tourism in Kultabad, which was sponsored by the Ministry of Tourism, Government of India. The other one I did in 2014, that is socio-economic impact of tourism, which was sponsored by Indian Council of Social Science Research. And the last one recently we studied on the potential for developing rural tourism in Marathwada region. That was Center for Potential for Excellence in Rural Areas, which was been given to the Department of Economics in our own university. Now here I have also written a book on that, and we always, all since 2011 to 2022, we are continuously talking about the upliftment of the local communities. Okay, but lots of research papers are there, a lot of things are coming up, but when it comes to actually implementing it, it becomes a major problem. And when we talk about tourism piece, the local community should be given the most priority, what I feel. We have taken some prosperity through tourism programs in our department, that is tourism awareness campaign, that is training program for the destination community. This we are doing this till 2013, and we have reached like thousands of stakeholders in and around our area. So these are the local people we invite and give the training. But what actually they should do, how they can be benefited, again, it's a very, very important question to be asked by all of us. It is not, this is happening only in my place, area or India, but I find such type of case studies all over the world. So when we're talking about peace, we have to really concentrate on the people and the local community. My next point is that peace tourism must be included in the cultural tourism landscape. Like you can see this in our airport, I've come from a place where we have the World Heritage Sites of Ajanta, which depicts Buddhist tourism, and at the airport, Rome, everywhere, wherever tourism infrastructure is there, I think the attributes of peace tourism should be there. It's a very beautiful video of Kashmir tourism where, a local person, a very old fellow, he just moved out of his house and he sees the tourist, and tourist thinks him to be the tour guide. And he's showing the tourists the places around Kashmir for the whole day. And then his wife calls and she asks, "Where are you? I just had sent you to buy sugar for preparing tea, and since morning you are not there." The only sentence he says is that some guests have come to my home and I'm showing them Kashmir, right? So home he considered his old destination, his old, the whole state, the whole India as his home. So such type of branding aspects, brand value aspects should be focused when we are talking about peace tourism. Next is that how can a tourist contribute to peace? Dr. Rene has showed us such beautiful videos, where we can see the tourists and how they are enjoying, and also about volunteerism of the students. But here, these are the very important packages which I seen, and I was thinking of showing it to you when we are thinking about engaging, respect, and recognizing diversity and shared humanity. The tourist would be the best stakeholder, to contribute to peace. Like you can see the volunteer rural tourism, you can see the beautiful ladies, the international tourists, they are coming to our villages and teaching us skills. The locals are getting acknowledged with so many things. Moreover, such beautiful packages are there in Nepal, in Kathmandu, where the tourists come and teach the skills to the monks, young monks. They teach them English, they teach them languages, they teach them skills, and many other aspects. I think such type of tourism aspects are very much needed right now to contribute to the peace. My next is woman-centric economy in promoting intangible contributing to peace, right? These are beautiful photographs, pictures from India where, I always think that, women should be at the center of any cultural landscape. So if you're bringing them in the center of a cultural landscape, they are earning, they are getting empowered. I think that would be the best example for peace, developing peace in the state, city, or maybe the nation, right? So woman-centric economy attributes are still not being checked out related to economics. I think this needs to be done. And you can see again beautiful photographs of the woman. They should be the center, empowerment of women. Next is that we are talking about peace tourism, and I would like to focus here that our sustainable tourism goals, in which 12th number is responsible consumption and production. This should be taken care of. What we are producing and what the tourists are consuming. Okay. Is there any peace related aspects going on? Okay. And here I really want to ask all the panelists and of course all the academicians and students that is there a need for peace tourism should be reconceptualized? It should be conceptualized in a very good way, And I also wanted to ask the panelists that, are we going to have it as a niche tourism product always? Or it should be complemented with the other tourism products? Of course, peace and cultural tourism is one thing. Peace and volunteer tourism is one thing. But yes, peace and ecotourism, like Dr. Rene said that he is specialized. My PhD also is on ecotourism. How do we save our environment and cause peace? So all these aspects must be covered. Now, when we are talking about responsible consumption, it is very important for all the stakeholders to have a responsible production where peace should be the important aspect. Like this is one of the examples I always say to my students as well. This is the photographs from the Ajanta caves, which is the first World Heritage sites in India. Here, when we are talking about the production of the heritage sites, we really need to rebrand our heritage sites, which shows the peace experience. Now, in the photograph, you can see that, some yoginis were here who came to learn only Buddha and his meditation, the mudras. Okay. And they were so happy to be with us and they enjoyed the complete journey. The only thing they enjoyed because it created a, an different experience, and they could take them with them this contemporary form of tourism which was there in ancient times. So it is, not only coming and seeing the heritage sites and going. Tangible, intangible aspects and experience we always talk about. But tangible aspects, what is the history? What is the story? What are the important aspects? And how contemporarily it is beneficial for your daily life? That needs to be taken into concern. And if we rebrand our heritage sites for peace experiences, then I'm very much sure that, our world be like tourism, it would be one of the most important contribution of peace, which is already there. We are having cross-border tourism, we are having so many aspects of tourism. Like you can see centers of energies, mudras and meditations. This is related to Buddhist tourism. As I'm director of International Center of Buddhist Tourism, I thought of giving this example. So these are some of my points which I would like to cover, as only 10 minutes were given. I think it is it's very important for academicians like us and academic landscape, especially related to tourism, to think about, peace on a very different angle and reconceptualize it, and come up with major aspects, come up with major research projects, some very important work for the students, their dissertation, their projects are there, or maybe some events which are related to peace. Then only we can achieve this. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I think we would really like to give you a few more minutes to talk about the topics that were really interesting, a lot of discussion points there, like about how we can preserve cultural heritage sites whilst rebranding them. And I think it would be very insightful if we could add a few more points to that, because there were a lot of curious minds there about that topic.
Thank you so much, Praveen. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. And still our two panelists are yet to join. So I think Dr. Anila ma'am, she's asking, can we have a question answer session right now? If the audience, if they have any questions, they can pose the questions to the speakers, and we can continue the session until they join. Any questions from the audience?
Okay, there were a few questions. Well, the first one was the one that I just mentioned about cultural heritage sites and how we were going to preserve those cultural sites whilst rebranding them. So I think and any of the panel members can take up that question. We would like to hear your opinions about it.
Could you please repeat the question?
So you had mentioned the point about where there was going to be rebranding, or there has been rebranding of heritage sites, right? To promote peace and everything. So how do we conserve what that heritage site was originally made for? Instead of commercializing it and completely changing it, how do we make that peaceful transitions? Because there are a lot of heritage sites in India. How are we going to preserve their history and rebrand it for peace without commercializing it, and making it only for profit?
Yeah, it's Yeah, it's a very, very important question. I think when we are talking about rebranding, there are many examples when we are talking about rebranding the products. When we talk about cultural sites, it had been branded as a cultural product. But here, like for example, I had been to Amritsar in the Golden Temple, and we were there at the Langar. Dr. Rene and Professor Dr. RD. I'm very happy to tell you that we are having so much of culture in India, especially in Amritsar in Golden Temple. We have this free food for thousands of tourists each day. And I had been over there, and I am in the line waiting for the food. A very rich person is there, myself, a professor is there, and a beggar is there. We are sitting together and we are having food, right? So that is peace tourism. We are sitting together, and this can be done not only at the religious sites but all. See, when we talk about India and of course many places in Philippines and many other countries, our historical past, when we think about, see to them that people were very patient. Okay, they were very secular. Like Ajanta site, it was, it was completely dedicated to Buddhism, but it was been sponsored by the Hindus over there. So, such type of beautiful country it is. And I think when we talk about peace tourism at these sites and when we rebrand it will be very important for all the tourists to have a different experience for them. And I don't think so that commercialization is one aspect. It will definitely help them to gain a very thoughtful life, a very changed life, okay, after visiting the sites. Okay. Thank you so much. I think Dr. Rene can talk more about it, and Dr. RD.
Yes,
Yeah.
in fact,
Okay, Doc RD, I'll be first. Okay. In addition to that, the most crucial institution that could truly, promote the rebranding has to do with education, right? And what we are doing right now is that we're trying to start from the grassroots, trying to teach our students the culture of peace and so on. Now, to touch on the rebranding of heritage sites, like in the Philippines, we're also part of a war-torn country. The 7,641 islands as an archipelago, we have different stories per island. Now, we also have this war-torn area known as the vanguard of the democracy of the Philippines at the time. We have the Corregidor Island here in the Philippines. And when we visit, the place is still untouched. The place is still well maintained. And what has to do with rebranding, I guess, has to do also with not just seeing the guns, not just seeing you know, uh, the island itself, but trying to teach the students the history of this island as the last bastion of freedom among the Filipinos. Moving on, let's say when we go abroad, our students are familiar with what we call dark tourism, tourism, right? So in this context, when we do rebranding, it's not all about, oh, okay, how many have died here in this concentration camp, how many have suffered, but we have to teach them the story behind that. The nationalism must have to be explained in order for them, to appreciate not just a temple, not just as a ruin, but the story behind, in order for them, to appreciate fully, not just having a selfie, a picture, but to tell the world that it has more stories to tell than the columns, than the temples, than the ruins itself. I really love this topic about rebranding. There are a lot of ways how to make our destinations more appealing to our tourists. Later on, I will answer the question about do we really help or support, do we really augment income? I'm gonna share later on. But Doc RD, that's my take on the very first discussion point. Take it away, Dr. RD.
Yeah, thank you. For me, equitability is part of rebranding, meaning our cultural and our historical sites in the Philippines can be accessed by all people from all walks of life. Like the example of our panelists also today, that you can see even in the national shrine of Jose Rizal, our national hero, you can people of different economic backgrounds, they go there, they eat together, they do picnic on the grassy part of the park, and you can still see, some there are people who would take the street food with them. They buy street food. The others they buy from fast food chains, but they eat together in that in the park, in that cultural park, so historical area in Manila. I think equitability is also part of rebranding cultural places, like being able to accept and open it to different uh, kinds of groups of people. Yeah.
So
Thank
RD,
you.
it has also to sorry, it has also to do with the multicultural diversity,
Mm.
right? The appreciation. So
Exactly,
actually,
yes.
it's really something that, to be honest, how I really want, we've been in the, in the United Nations, trying to be diplomatic, but this particular point of discussion, thank you for the question rebranding. Is there a need? Thank you very much, ma'am, for that. We will consider that in our academic
Thank you
discussion
so
here
much.
in the
Yeah.
Philippines. Promise.
Thank you, panelists, for that wonderful discussion. We understood a lot from it. Now, our next speaker is Ms. Dr. Dilip M.R. Dr. Dilip M.R. is the director of the Kerala Institute of Tourism and Travel Studies and a seasoned tourism academic with over 2 decades of experience. Sir has held leadership roles in tourism education and has authored several books and research publications, with his latest works published by Routledge and Springer. Dr. Dilip has earned multiple academic awards and is recognized for his contributions to tourism and higher education. Dr. Dilip couldn't join us today physically as he is occupied with work tourism activities. So he has sent an educational video for us all to see.
Hi, dear all. Indeed, it's appreciable that this college is organizing such a wonderful event. Uh, I'm, in fact, what happens is today the Kerala Travel Mart, which is one of the largest in the southern region of Asia, is being inaugurated by Chief Minister. So we all have to take part of this one. That's why I'm a bit busy. I'm just, summarizing what I can tell at this point of time for you. Um, the World Tourism Day is being celebrated on the topic tourism and peace. Definitely, this is part of the theory that we have been studying over the years about the role of tourism in promoting peace across the country, across the borders. Certainly, tourism is a vital tool. It's a strategy where countries, something like a soft power actually, where countries, destinations, regions can utilize it as a weapon for promoting peace across the borders. We know that tourism is one that promotes cultural understanding. Cultural exchange is possible. This one, when we study tourism, we quite often hear about demonstration effect, where different people from different parts of the world comes to one destination, and the people over there come to know about the cultural features of the other places as well. And definitely the people, those who are visiting the destination, also shares their cultural features and others. So it's a kind of understanding about cultures of the other places, and also sharing this one, the good, the values and other things will be, exchanged as part of this one. Moreover, it helps in creating ties, collaborations with other communities in different parts of the world. Tourism has a role in that. Destinations can promote it very effectively for that one. Moreover, tourism provides economic opportunities which will be very much useful for the destinations to ensure their pride and prestige as part of their culture, their heritage and other things and all. Definitely these will be demonstrated before the people, those who are visiting the destination. the way tourism can be used in the international scenario is something like diplomacy. They can be utilized very well, and it's something like a soft power where destinations can utilize this one. Tourism can be used for some kind of conflict resolution as well. We know that up to, if you see the history of tourism up to the Second World War, tourism could not grow beyond certain limits. One reason was that there was hostility that was prevailing among countries, and after Second World War, this has boomed very much. One of the reason is this one, that people realize the importance of having peace, and they understood what is the things that are happening in other parts of the world. Some kind of information exchange happened, and hostility has gone down, and people started to travel to different places, and traveling opened the mental horizons of the people, the societies and communities, and even the people belonging to a country. And people, even wherever the parts they belong to, they are also human beings, so definitely there will be goods and bads, and these good things will be accepted by everybody from any society in the world. So tourism has that capacity. It can really by traveling, people can understand what is the culture prevailing in other parts, and men-to-men relationship, human being to human being relationship will be established as part of this one. And again, tourism can play a very big role in sustainable development, where local people will be part of tourism. That is one of the key aspects of tourism development, destination development, and everything. That's also, even the visitors, when they come nowadays, they're also much concerned about the environmental aspects, cultural aspects. They know that the cultural values of the local place should not be damaged by the visit of the people. Unlike the past times, nowadays everyone is bothered about this one, that we should not, any way create any kind of damage for the culture of the other people. Mostly, I'm not talking about everyone, but mostly people are much aware. Sustainable development, the sustainable tourism aspect involves this also. So these kind of aspects will definitely help people to understand the culture of other people, the living, how people are living in other parts of the world. So lot of changes can be possible by seeing, understanding, exchanging, and other things. So that way tourism has a lot of importance. Moreover, different kinds of ties between countries are possible for tourism. In regional cooperations are possible. In every country there will be different cultural differences will be there. So these can be understood by the communities from other parts of the world, other parts of the region as well. So this kind of, through collaborations for tourism also, cultural understanding is possible, and that will also help to generate peace. Um, from my side, I would like to say that this is a soft power which countries can effectively utilize for creating peace among countries, communities, societies across the borders. I'll be joining again, and I'll be contributing my share again. For the time being, let me stop, handing over the mic to my colleagues. Thank you for inviting me. Hi, dear all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Sophia. Thank you, sir, for your kind words. Thank you for sending that video. We have one big question that came for all the panelists. The question was, what do we do if the local community is not welcoming of the idea of tourism, where they do not want a lot of disturbance from outsiders and their local community?
So your question is that, if the local communities doesn't want tourists, so what can be done? Is it?
Yeah.
Yes.
It absolutely depends upon the host, whether they
Correct.
want the tourist or not.
Yeah.
Whether they want, if they are they are having a very good economy and they are not worried about the tourism aspects, it is up to them, right? Nobody. It's a very simple question and very simple answer from my side. Thank you so much.
In addition to that, that's right. Whether they would welcome or not, but from our end, on my experience, we have to consider likewise mass tourism. There might have been, like I remember one time in Spain, there was this football game.
Yes.
And then, of course, the influx of tourists ate up all the resources. Homestays were full, streets were dirty, and then food became scarce. So therefore, you are correct, Dr. Maduri, that it depends because it is circumstantial, it is situational. We have to consider also the backlash tourism or the ill effects of mass tourism. Remember, the destination has a specific tourism density, right? So if we have to welcome the volume of guests, well, I guess it has to also be with you have to respect of course the community, which I agree to Dr. Maduri, right? Mm-mm.
Yeah, Doctor, I would like to add something to Dr. Rainey that if there
Mm.
are huge socio-cultural impacts over there,
Impact,
and of course the
right?
environmental impacts, I think the policy makers should think about it and whatever attributes they are having of tourism in their country and they want to show it to the tourists, they can concentrate on special interest tours
Yeah.
which are less in number and which will be beneficial for them. It depends upon the country's tourism policy. Yeah, thank you.
Right.
Yeah.
Before Doc RD, I'll just continue
Mm.
first with
Okay.
one 60 seconds. The rest of the team, I would like to share with you in 2016, the Philippines number one beach in the country, in the world should have been the Boracay Island. It closed. Why? Because you are correct, Dr. Maduri. The socio-economic impact, the density of the people so wide, so big that it damaged the island. Specific number of tourists should come in, but it has grown in out of proportion. So therefore, the president then closed the island for 6 months, rehabilitated it. So therefore, there is a reason for that, why we are not supposed to be that welcoming. In spirit, we love them. However, we have to consider also the situation. Doc RD, please take it from there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
I absolutely
depends.
agree. Yeah.
Mm. It depends on the impact of
Right.
the. It also depends on the behavior of the travelers. So communities can close.
Yeah.
Like our tallest mountain in the Philippines, Mount Apo, has been closed for years because tourists are actually destroying
Mm-mm.
the landscape. So I think it depends, and I think governments and local communities, local government units should also have a strong will in
Mm-mm.
terms of protecting our tourist spots, or especially our cultural heritage, because sometimes, or there are times that tourists would vandalize and destroy even caves. So we have to close and rehabilitate. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Another question that we got was, in what ways can technology, social media, and digital platforms amplify people-to-people diplomacy in today's interconnected world?
Can you please repeat the question?
How would social media?
Yeah, in what ways can technology, social media, and digital platforms amplify people-to-people diplomacy in today's interconnected world?
Yeah, creating peace or developing or uh, promoting the peace tourism in this era 2024. And when we are having lots of user generated contents which are
Mhm.
positive, which are negative, okay, we cannot control it, right? So it is very important, for the government officials, the stakeholders, the policy makers, especially the tourism stakeholders of that particular state, to be aware about it.
Mhm.
That is the reason why in my last slide I told you, you rebrand your products, take efforts to rebranding your
Mhm.
products and showing the people that you are peaceful, come to us, enjoy with us, you know have creative activities with us, right? So I think, when we talk about social media, it is a lot of positive and negative impacts are there. But as a professor, I think we should concentrate on more on the positive impacts, because it is not always the negative things happening because of internet, and
Right.
positive things also are coming up.
I definitely agree, Dr. Maduri, that people would have to calibrate their minds, not always the negative. Let's consider, let's consider the aspect of being together. Come on, welcome. But more than that, how to amplify likewise. The social media is, a very powerful tool. Like from my end, I'm from the city of Manila. And because of blogs, I was able to, rediscover, oh, there are sharks in this area. Oh, there are good species of this animal. So with that, I love it, but we have to do it responsibly. That's correct.
For me, social media and technology, even AI and artificial intelligence or augmented reality, and also provide easy access, but it's the first-hand experience that's more
Right.
important.
Right.
Yeah, visit and experience and live with the local communities so that you will gain more understanding of their needs and also their traditions and culture.
Dr. Adi, I would love to welcome all our delegates coming from Jotinivas College, including Dr. Maduri here. Visit the Philippines. We have the same, the religiosity of the people. You are also religious people. We are also from the other spectrum. But, the faith is here. We have the same head. We have the same hands. We have the same heart. So all together, for now, I'm giving you already the welcome, here. Dr. Rani could speak more of the Philippines.
Thank you so much. One more question is, what are your opinions about cultural appropriation? When people travel to different places, they can be things from their culture and put it up on social media. It can seem like a trend, and to some people, it can seem like a mockery. So, what do you, instead of like promoting that culture, so what are your opinions about cultural appropriation, and how can we be respectful for two places that we travel to?
When we travel, we are guided by principles, right? For example, yeah, Dr. Maduri is, I guess, in ecotourism. So with that, we always have to, if you are tourist traveling through a travel agency, I guess the role of a travel agency is that to orient the people, right? To orient the people, what are the green practices, what are the do's and the don'ts on a specific country or specific destination. There are a lot of studies have been made. What are the behaviors of our tourists? And why do they travel? There are a lot of reasons actually. The age of technology is a propelling factor why people travel. The age also, maybe how short the life today, right now, the lifespan. People would like to travel because at the end of the day, oh, my life is getting shorter. When could I enjoy traveling? There are a lot of psychological reasons, economic reasons, there are barriers to travel, but more than that, I'm encouraged and inspired by Dr. Maduris saying that let's talk about the positive ones, the negativities. So yeah, I travel, my family travels because of a lot of reasons to discover. Remember, if you have the five senses active, that definitely you would enjoy tourism. The food, the sights, what you hear, how would you feel? That's why, the two countries right now, India and the Philippines, well, I guess we have a very good, bed of information that in the future we could set foot on your land as well. That's vice versa. That's my take on that question.
Dr. Rainey, could you just let me know what was the question, because I couldn't hear it?
And why people travel and what are the other, yeah, that's correct, right? Why people travel. Yeah,
Yeah, how to kind of avoid cultural appropriation when
yeah.
you travel to some places.
How do you manage
Oh,
that?
yeah.
Yeah.
How do you manage, Darla?
Mm-mm.
How do you manage the travel? Is it?
To do with the culture go ahead, Praveen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I think you
Appropriateness.
can go ahead. Dr. Rene has answered this question. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I'm done already. It has to do with the respect actually. But if you give me 30 seconds with that, I'm always I'm always a believer of the ecotourism practices, the 8 practices by the Ecotourism Society, that when we travel, we have to remember always for the appropriateness of it. Kill nothing but time, bring nothing but memories, leave nothing but footprints. With that, we will never go wrong with tourism, how to enjoy it.
Thank you, sir. Another question was about solo female travelers. What it's increasingly getting very unsafe for women to travel to India.
Mm.
And so how do we like promote traveling in India or touring in India? Because it's getting more unsafe. So how much ever we market tourism in India when people from outside, women from outside will look, okay, they look at the news and everything, and there's just crimes happening against women every single day. So how do we counter that? How do we make it a safe space for women to travel alone?
Yeah, it's one of a very important questions like we are dealing with right now. That is the single woman travelers and how they don't feel safety while going traveling in India, especially not only in India but many parts of
Yeah.
the world,
Mm.
right? And it suddenly, the brand image goes down. We have a very bad name for that, right? So what I think is that we have before 2 years, one of my PhD scholars, she completed her PhD under my guidance on crime in tourism, and we concentrated on the Western India, Goa, Gujarat, and Maharashtra. And we have come up. It was very difficult PhD for us, a research work for us, where we were going at the police stations, asking the police, and then we are filing the RTIs, that is right to information, and checking out how many rapes are there in Goa and how much of drugism is there. There's so many social impacts are going on. So we were doing this, and it is very important for a particular country, to be aware about this. And I think safety measures has to be increased. And I'm very happy that the one of the students has raised this question. And when we talk about peace tourism, and at this platform and at international panel discussion, I think much work is needed right now by the government of India, not only government of India, but many other countries where women are not safe. So policies need to be changed. When we talk about tourist police, we are giving training to the tourist police as well. But what exactly needs to be trained to the tourist police is very important. And I think in coming days, good policies will be come up by the Ministry of Tourism, Government of India, and we will be doing better in this area, especially at the tourist places. Thank you.
Thank you, panelists, for your contribution. Now, I would like to invite our attendee, Dr. Anna Thomas, to the floor. Thanks. Feeling gratitude and not expressing it is like wrapping a present and not giving it. William Arthur Ward. The distinguished speakers of the day, Most Reverend Dr. Sister Mary Louise Sayers, Principal, Jyothi Nivas College Autonomous, eminent delegates from South Philippine Institute of Tourism Philippines, participants from various countries across the globe, and my dear students. It's my privilege to propose the vote of thanks at the conclusion of this insightful and thought-provoking international panel meet. I take this opportunity to place on record my profound appreciation towards the valuable contributions of many on the occasion of International Virtual Tourism Panel Meet on the theme Diplomacy Beyond Borders, Promoting Peace through People-to-People Tourism Initiatives. First and foremost, I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to Ministry of Tourism, Government of India, Bangalore office for the invaluable collaboration and support in organizing World Tourism Day 2024. The guidance and timely assistance have played a crucial role in making this event a success. I appreciate the resources and expertise that have been provided, which significantly enhance our efforts to promote tourism and celebrate its importance on our institution campus. Our distinguished panelists,
have graciously shared their invaluable knowledge and insights with us today. Your thought-provoking presentations and engaging discussions have truly broadened our horizons and deepened our understanding of the global challenges and opportunities concerning tourism and hospitality sector. It is indeed a great learning experience to interact with and truly appreciate the gracious presence of each one of you. I express and acknowledge my deepest appreciation to Dr. R.D., Director for Learning and Development and Academic Director, South Village Global Education Network, Philippines, for sharing your expertise, experience, and perspectives with such depth and clarity. Your contributions have enriched the discussions immensely, and we are truly grateful for the time and effort you have invested in preparing for this event. I take this opportunity to express and acknowledge my heartfelt gratitude to our moderator, actually, because of the schedule, because of the delay in another engagement, Dr. Edla Venkat Rao, Professor, Department of Tourism, Pondicherry University, couldn't join the session, but all the wishes and all the gratefulness sharing with you, sir. We are deeply indebted to you for your generous time and knowledge sharing. It's my honor to express my appreciation and gratitude to Dr. Dilip Emma, who joined us with a video presentation, who shared the viewpoints. He is the Director, Kerala Institute of Tourism and Travel Studies, Thiruvananthapuram, who take time out of the demanding work schedules and your commitment to sharing your expertise, and because of that, despite your many obligations, speak volumes about your dedication to fostering exchange of ideas and collaboration in tourism and hospitality sector. Further, I would like to express my warm appreciation to Dr. Madhuri Savan, Director of Tourism Studies, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, Marathwada University, Aurangabad. Ma'am, truly we are acknowledging your excellent coverage, what you have presented regarding the people-to-people initiative supporting the growth of tourism sector. Thank you, ma'am, for your gracious presence amidst us. Special appreciation and gratitude to Dr. Rene, Director, International Linkages, Southville Institute of Tourism, Philippines. Your insights and expertise have been invaluable, and we deeply appreciate the time and effort you dedicated to share your knowledge with us today. Special acknowledgement and appreciation to Dr. Rani and Niraj, Associate Professor, Southville International School and Colleges, Philippines, for the invaluable support and assistance in organizing this panel meet. I would also like to express my sincere thanks to our international guests who joined from Southville Institute of Tourism, the national guests, the scholars and students joined from Marathwada University, our JMC students, and also the students who have joined online. Your presence has made this meet truly global, fostering a spirit of collaboration and cross-cultural exchange. Thank you, all of you, for your valuable participation, for bringing diverse viewpoints to the panel. With a deep sense of appreciation, I thank our dear Principal, Dr. Sister Mary Lusa S., for the patronage and guidance throughout the whole process in making this event a successful one. I also extend my deep appreciation and thank Sister Nalini Cruz, Manager, Jyoti Nivas College Autonomous, for the valuable support and encouragement. I extend my sincere and profound gratitude to Sister Sachita, Administrator, Jyoti Nivas College, for being very supportive and for the timely guidance extended in organizing this event. A special acknowledgement goes to Dr. Carol Stanley, IQSC Coordinator, Jyoti Nivas College Autonomous, for the continuous support and guidance rendered, ensuring everything is coordinated smoothly. Your attention to detail has not gone unnoticed and has greatly contributed to the success of today's session. I would also like to take a moment to express our gratitude to all sisters of Jyoti Nivas community, faculty members from various departments of the institution, non-teaching and support staff for extending their support in organizing the session. I would also like to take this opportunity to place on record my sincere appreciation and thanks to Mr. Praveen, Mr. Basil, Mr. Richard, Mr. Khalil, and the entire team for rendering the perfect technical support and guidance that has extended to all of us at this occasion. Well, an event like this requires meticulous planning and execution, and I am fortunate enough to be backed by the team of very motivated and dedicated faculty and students of tourism department who coordinated in organizing this event. I thank everyone for their involvement and their willingness to take on the completion of the task beyond their comfort zones. Last but not the least, I express my warmest appreciation to our audience, both in person and virtually, for your active engagement. Your thoughtful questions and reflections added another layer of richness to the discussions today. Your involvement is a testament to the importance of the topics we have explored together. Finally, I express my heartfelt gratitude to Lord Almighty for making today's event a resounding success. With the blessings of and grace of Lord Almighty, we are able to make this event a successful one. Thank you.
Okay. Well, I'm sure we all have many takeaways from this session, and I hope that we are able to apply it in our lives. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we come to the end of our panel discussion. Thank you all for joining in. Thank you, panelists, and thank you, everyone. Now, before you leave, there's a feedback link put up in the chat box. Kindly put in your feedback there, and through that, all the students will be getting their certificates. Thank you. Thank you.
And before we end, thank you so much from our end. Dr. RD, your grateful words